Okay, Assalamualaikum. Hi, so as I promised, so today I will be giving you a lecture on flood routing and reservoir routing. Okay, okay, in this topic, flood routing, we are covered on these four outcomes. Okay, right? So it covers both flood routing and also reservoir routing. Right, so the first outcomes is you have at the end of this lecture you know how to explain difference between hydrologic Lam model and distributed model, and then you have to know how to perform a hydrologic channel routing using Muskingum. And then for reservoir routing there are two methods, which is um, modified pool method, and then another one is Goodrich method. Right, so both we naming that method is level pool method. Right, so what is flood routing? Flood routing also known as flow routing. Okay, so for this topic, it used to predict temporal and spatial variations at any point of downstream area. Okay, so this method usable use to design reservoir or spillway or also flood protection. Right, so this is graph that you have to establish, okay, at the ends of this lecture, right? So graph inflow and outflow. Then you have to know the peak attenuation and also peak leak. Right. So this is a summary between hydrologic routing and also hydraulic routing. Okay, hydraulic routing also known as Lam model. Okay, it's use equations of continuity, and it's calculations only on a time only, okay, for a specific location. So this is a simple method, okay. And then the method that used in hydrologic routing, we use a Muskingum modified pool and also level pool method, okay, for reservoir. So for channel using Muskingum, for level for reservoir using modified pool and also Goodrich method. Okay, so another one summary for hydraulic routing. For hydraulic routing, we also call as a distributed model. Use equations of continuity and equations of momentum. Both the calculation need functions of space and time. So this is a complex method. Then usually use a Sandvenn equation, and it can be used into the software, right? Such as a HECRAS. All right. So we go to the picture. How do you know this one is hydrologic routing? So for hydrologic routing, you have to determine the inflow and outflow. Okay. So that is why it's called Lam model, because um it calculates a single of inflow, okay, single graph of inflow and then single graph of outflow. But for hydraulic routing, there are a serial of inflow and outflow, meaning that this one you can determine a spatial variation, the value of spatial here, every each point. Okay, so this one is hydraulic routing. So that is why it's called as distributed model. Okay, all right. So flood routing application, there are two application which is channel routing and then another one reservoir routing. So channel actually it's it used for river. Okay, so meaning that is a hydrograph change as travel down a channel, meaning that to predict flood hydrograph at various sections of ridge and river. So this one, channel routing. Then we use a Muskingum, right? So for reservoir routing, okay, you actually can imagine dam, okay, reservoir, okay, or a lake. So its effects of flood wave as it's entering a reservoir to predict changes of reservoir elevation. Okay, it's focused for reservoir. It's focused on elevation and outflow discharge. Okay, so for reservoir, we use a modified pool and Goodrich method. All right, so we go to the Muskingum method, right? Muskingum method used for channel routing or river routing. Okay, it applies to long and narrow streams. Okay, downstream peak occurs after points of maximum storage due to a retarding effect of backwater or control water, meaning that it's maximum at upstream and then goes to downstream. It's becomes slowly the Q value, and then if there is a breach or any obstruction here, obstacles, then it can be a backwater effect here. Okay, so we use a S and curve relationship for this backwater or this channel routing. All right. Okay, we can see here, all right. So there are two graphs. Okay, so the first graph, okay, the top graph, okay, the green line is inflow. Okay, for example, you imagine there is a flood. So the flooding into the river should be inflow is greater than um, time by time. After a few times, the outflow will be slower down. Okay, this blue line. Okay, the intersection between inflow and outflow is we call as Q maximum. Okay, right? So the graph of storage should be greater and maximum at the intersection line. So this is changes of storage should be positive. That is why greater than 0. And then become slowly to the downstream. Okay, the storage becomes slowly, and then the changes of storage getting negative or less than 0. So the intersection between inflow and outflow we call as Qmax. Okay, we calculated as Qmax. And at this point, the changes of storage become 0, is equal to 0, right? So if we use 0 here, when we put these changes of storage equal to 0 here, so I is equal to Q. Okay, backwater effect, right? So from upstream to downstream, if there is any obstacles, for example, breach or intersection between two rivers, so there is a backwater effect here. So that one we call as backwater curve. Okay. Right. So variable stage discharge relationship. Okay. So you can see here, okay, the first graph. Okay. So the upper line, okay, this one rising curve, right? Rising stage. So the upper line indicates high flow rate compared to the lower line. So meaning that, okay, this one during falling stage, okay, at the same water level. Meaning that at the same water level, okay, for example, okay, so for example, this one water level 2 meter, for example. So at 2 meter, there are two queue here. Okay. During flooding, okay, during flood, okay, there are two queue here, right? So, okay, right. So the peak line, okay, noted that the Q maximum happen occurs before the water level reach the X maximum, meaning that it's happened first, okay? The Q maximum, sorry, the Q maximum happen first, okay? First, then, uh, then after that the S maximum happen, okay? Storage, okay? Flow rate, okay? Maksudnya, you punya flow rate is occur first, then a level of S maximum happen just before after the Qmax happen. Okay, this is due to momentum, all right? Momentum of water at the front of flood event wave. Okay, so shape this one 8 numbers. Okay, macam some sort like number 8, right? Okay, the graph 8 shape look ni, this is backwater effect, right? This one graph for this one backwater effect graph. Okay, right. It's caused by obstruction. Okay, such as dam or bridge or junction with other rivers. Okay, so the crossing loop itself forming a figure 8. This occur when a downstream obstruction causes water to be blocked or backed up, right? Altering the normal relationship between water height and velocity. So, this one, this graph is shape, if there is any resistance, then this loop will be appear, okay, right, in the graph. So to solve it, we use Muskinger method. This Muskinger method, it solve a complex Q and S, okay? So not only single Q and S calculated, if there is a few changes of Q to Q and storage as, then we use a Muskinger method. Okay. All right. So continuity equation that you have already know. Okay. Right. So for example, water budget equation. Right. So inflow minus outflow equal to changes of storage. Okay, so when we um, okay, this one the I we can find out by using average I1 plus I2 divided by 2 times time, and then minus Q average of Q1 plus Q2 divided by 2, so change it times time changes of time or time interval equal to changes of storage. Okay, delta time must be sufficiently short so that the inflow and outflow hydrograph can be approximate as linear within a time interval. So this one continuity equation, right? So you can see here in the graph, okay? So in outflow, there is we've calculate for two, two inflow, okay? I1 and I2, and then find out the average, okay? The delta time is time 2 minus time 1. Right? So, and so for the in outflow, this one Q outflow, right? So Q1 minus Q plus Q2 divided by 2, find out the average and then times the data time. So that one you can find out the changes of storage. Okay. Right, and then channel routing, okay, this one wedge storage and also prism storage. Okay, this one show you how the flood in from the upstream to the downstream. So there is a will be a wedge storage happen. Okay, the shape of upstream to the downstream. We interpret by a wedge. Okay, so that is why you got this wedge storage. Okay, flood flow is characterized by unsteady, non-uniform, gradually varied flow. Okay, so we assume that this flow is unsteady when there is a flood happen. Okay, so the bottom line, okay, the shape is prism shape. Okay, so we call as prism storage, right? Okay, so if there is a from when the inflow is greater than outflow, so the shape is would be positive. Okay, we call as advancing flood, positive wedge. If the inflow is lesser than Q, so it's called receding flood wedge or negative wedge. Okay, so this is a formula for prism storage. Okay, what is Q and M? Okay, so SP is prism storage, K is storage time constant, Q is discharge, and then M is constant. Constant meaning that if you use a rectangular channel, M is equal to 0.6. And for natural channel or irregular, then you use 1.0 M. Right? So K storage time constant, okay? Unit in time, okay? Storage time, okay? Right, so net wedge storage. Okay, this is a formula for wedge storage. So K is travel time constant. I is inflow rate entering upstream, and then Q is outflow. M M is same channel shape. Okay, M is equal to this one. Okay, right. So X value we call as relative weight or weighting factor. Okay, so the S value is between 0 to 0.5. If 0 for reservoir like flat pool, 0.2 for natural stream, and 0.5 for full wedge. Right. M equal to 1 for natural channel. Okay, this one. M equal to 1 for natural channel, meaning that river. So total storage is SP plus SW. So S become this equation. So this one we call as Muskingum equation. Okay. Right. So when x equal to 0, so you got this equation for Muskingum. So when x equal to 0, then you got this outflow like this. We call as pure attenuation. When x0 equal to 0.5, so you get the full wedge develop. So this one we call as pure translation. Right, this one already knows, okay. Right. So in Muskingum equation, there are changes of storage. Okay. You got this equation in changes of storage. When we arrange that, we got this equation. So from continuity equation, we got this equation. Okay, I minus Q. Okay. So the one that we are known is Q2. Okay, the one that we want to find. Okay. I arrange this equation and this equation both. Okay, this one and this one. And then lastly, we got Q2 in this equation. Okay, so this one we call as C naught. Okay, this one C1, this equation, and then this one C2. So that is why we got this equation, right? Okay, we go to next example. Okay, first example. Okay, given example 8.5, wrote the flowing flood hydrograph through a river reach for which K equal to 12 hours and X equal to 0.2. At the starts of inflow flood and outflow discharge, this one we call as Q1. Okay, because of at the start. Okay, sentence of at the start. This one Q1 equal to 10 meter cube per second. So this is table given for you from 0 to 854. Okay, so the first inflow and second inflow we noted at D naught as I1 and I2. Okay, all right, so this is a procedure. Okay, all right, so using this equation, find out Kx. Okay, and then select delta time, and then you calculate C naught, C1, and C2. And you can find I1, I2, and Q1. Then you calculate Q2. Okay, right? So in a book, stated this equation. And then another one, you can see this equation. Both are the same. Okay. Okay, all right. So this one, delta time divided by 2. So then you get 0.5. Okay, this is mathematical. Right? Right, so you go to, right, okay, we go to uh, question, example 8.5. Okay, I'm doing in Excel, right? So step number 1, we calculate the C naught, C1, and C2. Okay, so C naught, okay, using K equal to 12. Okay, K equal to 12 and X equal to 0.2. Right, so insert into the equation. Then I got C naught 0.048, C1 0.429, and then C2 0.523. Okay, then step number 2. Okay, I build up equation for Q2. Okay, by using C naught, C1, and C2. So this is equation. And then use first equation, I1 equal to 10 and I2 equal to 20. Okay, put into the equation. And then I got Q2 equal to 10.48 meter cube per second. Okay, for step 3, for 12 hours, use question 1. Use question 1. Q1, sorry, use Q1 as 10.48 for repeated procedures. Okay, this example. Okay, step number 3. This one I. Okay, sorry, here. Okay, this one I. Okay, so for step number 3. Okay, first, you copy this one, time 0 to 54. Okay, so I got this one, this formula, sorry, this table. Okay, then I calculate for C naught, C1, and C2, right? So for Q2, starting with this one, okay, 10.48. Okay, this mentioned that for time 12 hour, use Q1 as 10.48. Okay, meaning that Q1, we use this one, okay, into this equation. All right. Starting for 10 meter cube per second here. And then we got Q2 10.48. Then when you use 10.48, okay, so just drop down here. Okay, got this equation. Sorry. Okay, you got Q2 for this table. And then you plotting a graph. Okay, this graph inflow and outflow. Okay, for example, this one. Okay, so I just copy this one, 10 for first 10. So 10, I just copy this one into here. All right, it's okay lah. Actually, just plot graph I and Q, inflow and outflow graph. So you got this graph. Okay. And then you find out the peak attenuation. Okay, how much between the peak and the peak of graph inflow and peak graph outflow. That one we call as peak attenuation. Okay, so from the graph, okay, then we can read that your peak flow happened at 60 and then outflow 49.61. So just minus, I get 10.39 meter cube per second for peak attenuation. And then peak lake happened at 18 and also 30. Then just minus, the difference between is peak lake happened at 12 hours. Okay, that one for Muskingum. Right? So next we go to exercise. Okay, this exercise. We go to this exercise. Okay, right? We try Muskingum method for this exercise. K equal to 8 hours and X equal to 0.2. So this is time and inflow. Q1 equal to 10 meter cube per second. Okay, step number 1, calculate C naught carefully. And then build up the equation and put inside I2 and I1. This one I2. This one I2. This one I1. Okay. Put into the equation. Right. Q1 use this 10 meter cube per second. This one Q1. Okay. Then you got 10.30 meter cube per second. Okay. Put into the equation. So I build up. Okay. This one I not use this table. Okay. You can use this table or just use for this equation inside of this table. Okay. Right. So from this table, then I got this graph. Okay. 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 Then I got the peak attenuation. Okay. Between peak, the one that peak and peak for inflow and outflow. So just minus, get peak attenuation 7.9 meter cube per second. And then peak lake happened at 8 and 12 hours. So I got 4 hours difference. Right. Then we go to example 8.4. Right, it's okay. Go to lecture first. Okay, done for exercise. Done for exercise. Okay. And then we go to channel parameters. Okay. Outcomes number 2. Channel parameters. Okay. Right. So there are two graphs. Okay. We call as this one we find out the effect of weighting vectors X. Okay, both are same graph but in different axes. You just get the K also different, okay? The slope, they just different between the slope. K equal to 1, this one 1 over K. Alright? So determinations of K and X. So we have a continuity equation. Okay, rearrange back. This one I1, put Q1 here, and then I2 here. Then I got rearrangement like this. So we can see from this last rearrangement. So this one is I minus Q plus I2 minus Q divided by 2. This one is I minus Q average. Okay, and then you have a changes of storage. Right? So we want to find this one, we want to find K and X. So use this equation. Okay, so obtain inflow and outflow graph. Okay, we're trying, okay. All right. So for this graph, okay, determination K and X. So we have to trial, we have to do a trial. Okay, we have to try X value. Okay, until the graph of A shape ni is narrow. Okay, then you've got the one that is nearest for your result. Okay, this one example 8.4. Right, the following inflow and outflow hydrograph were observed in a river ridge. Estimate the values of K and X applicable to this ridge for use in the Muskingum equation. So you are given time 0 to 66, inflow and outflow, right? So I'm trying to do in Excel. Okay, right? So first step, okay, you are required to copy this one, this table. Okay, step number 1, right? And then because of equation is I minus Q equal to changes of storage, so you have to find out I minus Q. So I find out I minus Q here, right? So this is equation. So just drop down I minus Q. And then find out the average because of this one are the average, right? So you find out average 0 plus 14 divided by 2. Okay. And then 14 plus 38 divided by 2 got 26. Okay, just drop down. And then times T. Okay, T fixed 6 hours because of the time interval is 6 hours. Okay, 0 to 6, 6 to 12, changes of T is equal to 6 hours. So I just times with 6. Okay, just drop down. Okay. And then you have to do a accumulation here. Okay, for total of the S value, right? Equation like that. Okay, so for S value, so you have to accumulate the S value. So 42 plus 156, you get this one. Accumulate. Sit down. Oh, sorry. Start with 42, then this one start for accumulate. Okay, then drop down. Okay. Then we try to put x into this equation. Okay. All right. So if you refer to uh, okay, this one. Refer to this one. Okay, right. Referring to this lecture. Okay, this one graph. Okay, so we want to find this one. Xi plus 1 minus, we want to plot this graph. Okay, graph xi plus 1 minus x times with q. So we have to try to put a series of trial of x. Okay, we have I, we have a q number. Okay, right. So we try. Okay, we try with x equal to 0. First trial. Okay, first trial, we try with x equal to 0.35. So put into equation 0.35 times I. Okay, this one I value. Okay, and then 1 minus 0.35 times q5 numbers. So this one. So okay, all right. So just wrote down. And then also try with this graph that you get for x 0.35. So you got this graph. Okay. The shape is like this. And then try with 0.3. Okay. The shape is like this one. It's become narrow. And then try with x 0.25. Then I got this one. Okay. Right. It's more narrow than the narrowest. The narrowest one. You find out the narrowest one. Okay. So graph 0.x equal to 0.25 is very nearly describe a straight line. So we taken x equal to 0.25 and then you find out k equal to, you get k equal to 11.42. How to get k? Right, so referring to this one. Okay, k is equal to 400 divided by 35. Okay, this one. Okay, you find out the straight line. Okay, I find out which one goes to the straight line. So I pick this line. I pick this point, and then I got the slope. Okay, the slope is become a k. 400 divided by 35. So I got k equal to 11.42 hours. Okay, you got k and I got x value. Okay. So this is the answer. K value and x value. K and x. Alright. Okay. So next we go to another slide. Okay, done that one. Okay. We go to hydrologic reservoir routing. Okay, there is a two method, modify pool method, and then another one is Goodrich method. Right, so for reservoir routing or storage routing, okay, it applies to a reservoir with a horizontal water surface with a negligible flow velocity, where storage is the functions of water elevation. Flow is a function of available head storage. Okay, example, uncontrolled flow, hence invariable S minus Q relationship. Okay, so this one S and Q relationship. Okay, this one S and Q relationship. Okay, so so we apply to storage lah. Okay, these shapes is similar. All right, inflow and outflow. So the intersection is S max equal to Q max. Okay, right. So this one for modified. So we solve using level pool method. All right. So this one level pool method. All right. So there are there are a continuity equation. So the outflow as a function with a reservoir elevation Q equal to QH. So this is continuity equation like before. So rearrange. Okay, we rearrange I plus I2 plus S1. Okay, S1, we put S1 here and then Q2 here. So you got this equation. I1 plus I2 times time plus S1 minus Q1 divided by 2 times time equal to S2. So this one unknown. You want to find this one. So this one we call as modified pool method. Right. So for Goodrich method, okay, we arrange from this equation, okay, we arrange two, we put here, okay. Right. So you can see here the difference between modified pool and Goodrich. So Goodrich method, we bring up I1 plus I2 is outside. Okay. And then 2 and 2 you put here. And then Q1 and Q2 put here. Then you got this equation. So this is unknown for Goodrich method. Okay. So we try example 8.1 and example 8.2, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So example 8.1 first. Okay, example 8.1 is modified pool. Goodrich example 8.2. So we go to modified pool first. Okay. This one is the example equation. Okay, this one is for the question for 8.1. Okay, a reservoir has the following elevation. Okay, given elevation, given storage in power 10 power of 6, outflow. Okay, so stated here when the reservoir level was at 100.5 meter, the following flood hydrograph entered the reservoir. This one at the time and discharge. Wrote the flood and obtained first outflow hydrograph, second reservoir elevation. Okay, right. So first step, modified pool. First step, you plot graph E versus S plus Q and E versus Q. Okay, so I'm plotting this graph. Okay, plot graph Q and E. So I got this graph. And then plot graph S plus Q and E. Right? So, okay, this one you have to try you plot this graph. Okay, first I try plot graph this one. Okay. Right? And then I plot this graph. Okay, and then copy and then click right, paste spatial. Okay, I got like this graph. And then you have to changes the axis ni. Okay, depends on this one. Okay. Okay, click this one, add chart, axis title, primary horizontal survey. Okay, click this one. Okay, you have to click the number and then click secondary exist. You put secondary first. Okay. And then you change the secondary ni at here. Okay. Sorry. Okay, you put secondary horizontal. Then, sorry, back again. Back again. Okay, you got this one, secondary horizontal. Okay, so you get both graph. And then you change this one, 0, 0 to 20, 0 to 200, and then the bottom exists 3 to 8. Okay, all right. So changes here. Okay, so you got 0 to, you have to change 0 to 200. Okay, example. Then another one, 3 to 8. Okay, is this option 3 to 8. Okay, so then you get this graph. Okay, same like this. Okay, I just put it on minor and minor line. Okay, right. So you got step number 1, you got this graph. Okay, and then step number, okay, this one from this graph. Okay, right. So you got this graph. Okay, step number 1. So from this graph, okay, I think, okay, this one, you have to calculate this one, S plus Q, T divided by 2. Okay, because of this one, S plus, this one. You calculate S because of graph needed, elevation versus S plus Q T divided by 2. So you have to calculate S plus Q T divided by 2. So where you want to find this one? So you take out this one, S value. Okay, yeah, you are given 3.35 S, this one Q. Okay, then you got this one 3.35. Okay, so next graph. Okay, you go to this one, S1 3.472, and then Q or 10. So you got this one, S. Then you plot this graph. Okay, from this graph, okay, you go to step number 2. Okay, step number 2, you have to find I average. Okay, so you have I given, so you find out I average. 10 plus 20 divided by 2, you get 15. Okay, then you times with time. Okay, you see here how to get time. Time in 6 hours and then convert into second. So if you convert into second, you get 0.0216 time for power of 6 second. But in this graph, because of the storage is already in 10 power of 6, so I just calculate I average equal to 0.0216. Okay, so just calculate I average times time. Okay, I got this one, these numbers. Okay, this one step number 2, and then step number 3. Okay. Mention here, okay, when the reservoir level was at 100.5, the following flight had a graph entered the reservoir. So meaning that I go to elevation 10 100.5. So I go to elevation 100.5. So the value of S1 and Q is here. Okay, 3.47. All right. So go to elevation 100.5. Okay. And then S1 and Q. Okay. All right. So you go here. Okay. This one. From the graph. From the graph that you are plotting. 100.5. So you punya S plus QT divided by 2 is 3.580. Right? So I got this one. Okay. 3.5. So I put 3.5 for this one, this graph S minus Q. So S, I use 3.5058 minus X7. X7 is here. X7. Sorry, X7 is here. Okay. Okay. Minus Q. I got 10 because of 100.5. Q is 10. So I minus Q times T. Okay. Then got this value. Okay. Add. Right. So this one Q times T. Right. So I got this value. 3.36. Okay. And then for S2 plus QT, okay, I use this value. Okay. Q8. Sorry. This one Q8. Q8 is here. Q8. Right. So I found out this one. Because of okay, right. So you have to know here. Okay, why? Okay, right. Maybe you will be question why we use 3.58 minus x7 times 0.20216 because of to get this S1 Q1 T divided by 2, this one. Okay, this is equation that you need to use. So that is why I find out this one 3.58 first, 3.58. Okay, minus Q minus times T. Okay, for this equation, this is the equation. So also this one, S2 plus QT, this equation. So I find out from I average times T plus this one. Okay, plus S1 minus Q1 times T. So that is why you use this equation. So this one is I average. This one is this one, S1 minus Q1 divided by 2. All right. So for this step, use this one. So for this one, for the next step, use this value. Okay. Use this value, 3.688. So you got 3.47, then drop down. Okay, drop down, got 3.62. Also this one, so just drop down value. Okay. So next, step number 5. Step number 5. Okay, there is a new E, okay, from graph and then the new Q from graph. So for elevation 100.5, okay, so you go to graph, okay, you go to 100.5, then you got new Q. Okay, for example here, okay, for 100.5, So new Q, Q10. Okay. And then your S plus Q T divided by 2, so you get 3.58 here. Okay, right? So go to the graph. So I got this value from the graph for this value, right? 100.6 got 13. Okay, so go to 6, okay, to how to get 100.6. So go to 3.68 ni, then you got E 100.6, then you find out from graph. The process is repeated. Okay, and then go to 4.2.7, you got this value, then you got Q to 28. Okay, so you have a graph E versus Q, and then plotting graph, step number 6. This one step number 5. Step number 6. Okay. Sorry, step number 5. Then you find out graph time versus I, plot graph. And this one step number 6. Okay. Okay. Then you plot graph time versus Q, and then time versus elevation. And this one is my graph. Okay. Graph discharge flow. Okay, this one graph elevation. This one graph discharge flow. Okay. Right. So the value is same like in a book. Okay. So just the value is not the same because of when we are plotting the graph. Okay. So you have to find out the attenuation. Okay. The value of peak. Right. For example, this one value of peak, how much? You find out the peak attenuation from the graph and then also the peak leg from the graph. Okay. So right now, this one, the peak is here. Okay. Not here. Okay. Also this one. Okay. The peak is here, not here. Right. So find out the peak attenuation and peak leg. Right. So this is my value instead of this is my value, peak attenuation 2 meter cube per second and peak leg 6.5. Rather than book stated that peak attenuation 10 meter cube per second, peak leg 7.2. Right. So this one modified pool method. And then we go to Goodrich method. Okay, Goodrich method is a little bit same. Okay, use the same data, right? So you have to manage unknown to S plus Q plus Q2. Okay, this one is Goodrich method, right? So first you have to plot graph E versus 2S T plus Q. Okay, so from your data, elevation, S and Q, you plot graph this one, 2S plus T plus Q. So I got this graph. Okay, and then step number 2, you find out I plus I2, not I plus 2. I average like modified. Okay, because of this one, equation I plus I2. All right, step number 3, okay, referring to this equation. So to get to S divided by T minus Q1, so you have to find out this one minus 2Q. So this one I got from first this one, from this 340. Okay, stated here, given, okay, I stated here, given T equal to 0, elevation 100.6. So first we use Q is equal to 340. So that is why this one mentioned here. The initial condition when T equal to 0, reservoir elevation 100.6. So that is why here 100.6. Okay, so I got 2S plus Q 340 minus 2Q1. Okay, Okay. So, okay, so I got 340, this one, because of this one. When we go to 100.6, okay, we go to graph 100.6. So I got S to SQ is 340. So that is why I use 340. Okay, so 340 minus 2Q. This one, this equation. Okay, got this one. So the next, this one, 2S divided by T plus Q is equal to this equation. So I just plus this one and this one. And then process is repeating. Okay, just use this equation, repeating. Okay, use T10 minus TW10. W10 is this one, minus Q, this one, Q. Okay, so and then step number 4, just drop down, So go to graph, okay, step number 5, go to graph, and then you can find out this one, 100.6, 100.74, and then 12 and 17. Okay, and then follow up, meaning that you have to check with your graph. Okay, every each. Okay, 100.6, you get this one. And then here, got this one. Here, got this one. Okay. And then step number 5, step number 6, plot graph time versus I, time versus outflow, and then time versus elevation. So I got this one, graph. Okay. And then you find the peak attenuation. So peak attenuation for modified Goodrich, okay, sorry, for Goodrich, I got peak attenuation 15 meter cube per second, and then peak lag 6 hours. It's, okay, this is graph from table. Right, so this is my graph elevation. Okay, right, so done. I will put this Excel into the drive. Okay, you may find out from the drive. Lastly, before we end, okay, this is summary for channel routing. Okay, right, so we already found this one. Okay, hydrologic routing use Muskingum equation. If storage routing and level pool routing, reservoir routing, you use modified pool and Goodrich method. Right, so for hydrologic routing is use Sandven equation. It's powerful for computers. For this one, for software. Right, so this is past year's question. Okay, July 2024. And then another one, July 2023. And then, okay, so I want you to submit this example, July 2024, as your attendance in Drive. So I will put also the Excel into the Drive, so you may find out at the Drive, right? So thank you for your attention. So that's all for me for today. Thank you very much.